What was your favourite sound era? Hi, I'm Faye, and today I'll be talking about the evolution of sound and how it improved throughout the years. First up was in 1877 when Thomas Edison made a sound machine called a phonograph, which recorded and played back sounds. Edison used the phonograph to record and synchronize sound with his kinetoscope film projector, which was made in 1894 by Dickson and Edison to record sounds and images that could play back. The phonograph was great, however it had a few problems due to the growth of silent films that became more popular. The large horns connected didn't amplify the sound enough for big theatres that were made. The rise of silent film started in 1894 but sadly ended in 1927, and that is when everything changed. Orchestras weren't needed, theatres that didn't have the equipment to project sound films weren't needed, but also actors who couldn't handle learning the lines and the problems that came with sound films weren't needed. This led to around 20,000 people losing their jobs, all because talkie films started to begin. In 1926, a year before the end of the silent film era, the first sound film was made, called A Jazz Singer. They used a new sound machine, the Vitaphone, that was developed by Western Electric and Warner Brothers. What is a Vitaphone? Well, it's to synchronize playbacks through a vinyl disc linked to the film projectors. This solved many problems like matching motion pictures to sound. However, in 1927, movie tones skyrocketed with popularity from Fox films, lasting until 1933, only 3 years longer than the Vitaphone. This was an optical sound machine that recorded transparent films. Moving to the 1950s is when the talkie era was fully formed, and since then it's been movies with sound. The stereo was the first to be introduced in the 50s, which allowed sound to be played through speakers that created more of an immersed, realistic audio. In 1952, the musical Singin' in the Rain was released. This movie talked about the evolution of sound, the good and the bad about it. In one of their scenes, it shows how the actors had slight trouble talking into the mics without it being too quiet or too loud. However, in the end, it turned out amazing and it shows how it was worth the trouble. Since then, sound has greatly improved, creating a full cinematic experience that evokes emotion, defines characters, but also brings film to life. With sound, it lets audience feel all sorts of emotions like tension, sadness, hatred, but also love and nervousness and happiness when watching films. This is why sound is so important in the film industry.